Hello, I'm Jero, and I want to present to you my board game Fuji Koro. Fuji Koro is a game about four samurai in medieval Japan. The story begins with the shogun looking out of his window and seeing Mount Fuji, the volcano, erupting again. Well, not erupting, but getting active again. So black smoke is pouring over the sky. He calls up his he summons his four best samurai, which are the four players in the game, and he tells them there is a secret temple inside the volcano. You have to go there immediately and save the monks, the relics, and the manuscripts from the volcano before it erupts. So you're getting ready to go up the mountain. You climb through snow and storms, and finally you find the secret entrance. All four of you go inside, and suddenly the floor crumbles beneath your feet, and you fall down in the center of the temple, which is slowly sinking into the lava. And that's where the game starts. Every player has a player board. It looks like this, with the samurai and all the actions you can take. There's some kind of worker placement system here. You start with a weapon. I'll explain later how that works, but that's the innovative part of my game. So, you start with 3 action tokens and a marker for your range. So the game is about character building while you are in the volcano, in the temple, trying to save the monks, the manuscripts, and the relics. You are building your character, building weapons to improve your fighting abilities. And the main part is about fighting dragons, of course, in the volcano. Because when the lava has risen, some dragons have awoken. So while you're exploring the temple, you'll find monks, but they're trapped by dragons. So you'll have to fight the dragons to save the monks. You'll find relics, and you'll find manuscripts or scrolls who will help you fight the dragons. But you have to do this with 2 actions each turn. What are the actions you can do? You can move, for example, like this, and you can explore the temple. So, for example, the yellow player explores this tile. He immediately earns a point for exploring to incentivize exploring the temple, and he discovers manuscripts and some basic resources, wood and metal. Then it's so he has moved and explored. Then the turn moves over to the next player, who also moves and explores. The first few rounds are not scripted, but will play out rather the same every game. You have to explore and move, otherwise you'll just sit in the middle and the timer will count. So that's the basic principle. During the game, you'll move to a spot where there's resources, and there you can gather the resources. And that's the crux of the game. You gather wood and metal in your backpack. This is your backpack. And with these resources, you will craft helmets, weapons, maybe some sandals to increase your range when you're moving, and stuff like that. So this is inspired by a Minecraft. There are some rules in crafting the weapons. There used to be a lot of rules. Now there's some rules, which is better. You can make one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, and those are two-handed weapons are better, but they will slow you down. You can build big helmets. The helmets don't really have restrictions, but they allow you to take damage without I want to say dying, but you can't die in this game. Well, you can.
Well, you can.
Yes, you can die, but that's for the end. When the lava starts to rise, you have 6 rounds before the volcano erupts and everybody dies inside. So you have 6 rounds to get out through the center tile, which becomes a rope. That's the Sherpa who comes through the hole and lets down a rope to pull you up. But he can only pull up 1 person per round. So you have 6 rounds, 4 players, and you have to get out in time. The first player to get out gets more points, but the other players have more time to gather more monks and relics, which also give you points. And battling dragons give you points. Everything gives you points. So if you get stuck, you can save yourself, but it will also cost you points. I will tell you now how you fight a dragon and what the rewards are. So, for example, this is a blue dragon of level 1. It's an easy one. And the minute you stand on the tile with dragon, also stolen from Mage Knight, adjacency and stuff, you fight the dragon. How do you fight? You have made a weapon. For example, this. It's a nice one-handed sword with a lot of wood, and I've made also a small helmet with 2 metal blocks and 2 wooden blocks. These act as hit points. The wooden blocks give you 1 hit point. The metal blocks give you 2 hit points, and then in later stages you have the dragon tooth, which give you 3 hit points. These little blocks represent dice. So it's now from a worker placement to a dice chucker.
You just have everything.
It's everything in a box. I will be criticized for it. So you can roll with the dice represented by your weapon. The metal dice will do 2 damage, but they can also break. So 1 in 6 chance that your weapon...
The die can break?
Your weapon can break.
Alright.
There's a 1 in 6 chance that your weapon will break off when you fight a dragon, but that's just a risk you have to take. With wood, it's a 1 in 6 chance it will break, but you only have a 2 out of 6 chance that you roll nothing.
Can you show us how the breaking goes?
You roll a red die, and it's a metal dice, so you lose a metal cube. Of course, if you build your weapon in such a way that it breaks in half, then it's Galaxy Trucker rules, and you have to discard one part. Yes, I know it's another Vlada game.
You're just name-throwing games here.
Yes, I put all kinds of games together in a box.
How original.
Sure, everybody builds on the shoulders of other people. I'm inspired by them. I didn't steal anything.
Okay.
Anyway, so the dragon has 8 hit points or lives or little hearts. And by the way, he's sitting on a dragon egg, which is points and might save you later.
Is it a female dragon then? Because all the rest in your game are male.
I will fix that. That's something to worry about later. Males can... maybe it's like little seahorses. That's the male that carries the eggs.
You're giving biology now?
We'll fix... That's not relevant to the game mechanics. Flavor can be added later. That's not my worry now. Right. The length of your weapon is important. The longer your weapon is, the more initiative you have, which means you can roll first, which is important because if you kill the dragon in one hit, the dragon won't roll against you, and you will have a bigger chance of surviving. So I count my weapon. It's 4, 5 wood and 2 metal. And I can roll first. And I roll pretty badly, but none of the weapon broke. So I did 4 hits on the dragon. So he has 4 lives left. But now it's the dragon's turn to roll. And he rolls with a dragon tooth, which doesn't hit me. I can roll again. Oh. I have killed it, but I lose 1 wooden block of my weapon. I kill the dragon. I get 5 points. Somewhere on the track. Where is it? Doesn't matter. There's a point track somewhere. Normally there's a board with the shogun waiting for you in the palace. Here it is. There's no artwork yet. But you move up the track. And this is the stairs to the palace. So the first one to arrive gets 9 points. But for example, if the dragon would do damage to me, if he would roll this, then I have to discard 3 hit points from my helmet. So basically, you're going to the dragon, giving wood and metal cubes for points.
That's clever.
Yes, and the dice are the market value of your blocks, your cubes. But don't tell anyone. So afterwards, you can move to the egg and pick up the egg. It will give you a little bonus if you would use it, but it comes in your action pool. The egg can also be used to step over the lava. I didn't mention you cannot walk on lava. The floor is lava.
I think that was pretty clear.
Is that pretty obvious? Okay, I won't put it in rules then. No, you can only move over lava by using an egg. You can only move over lava by using an egg, and I'm not sure if the egg afterwards goes away or stays. We'll have to decide, but that's a minor rule. But the egg is worth points, so you're basically throwing away points to save your skin, because the emperor would like the dragon eggs. So that's how battle works. You can fight against each other. You cannot stand on the same space. So if you get on the same space, you fight in the same way you fight a dragon. And then the winner can push away the loser to an adjacent space that's not lava, or not occupied by another player, or not occupied by a dragon. So it has to be an available space.
And what if that's not possible? What if all the other spaces are taken by other people?
No, there's always a space. The space you came from is always available. So.
Oh, okay.
But the interesting part is, and that happened in a test, that you can push someone away on a space where the lava is going to rise. So basically you can kill them that way. But that's the only way you can kill someone. And it's in the end, so it will suck.
And you're
it will suck.
stupid if it happens to you.
No, if you get if I fight you and I push you in a space where the lava is gonna rise,
You're
an asshole.
smart.
I'm an asshole. I'm not. No, if you just stand in a space where you know the lava is going to rise, then you're stupid. It happens once in a test with my best friend.
I think some people are gonna be insulted now because it's them.
But sure, it's not me. It's not the design. It's you. So that's combat. That's the action selection. Then you have the manuscripts, which you can gather. So there's a manuscript of every color here. Also, you stand on it and you use the gathering action like you would with resources. You get the manuscript of your color, you put it in your backpack, and then there will be a supply of manuscripts like this. Which will do all kinds of stuff. And then you can pick one and it refreshes. The manuscript, for example, this one, you put it on your player board and it will give you a monk, which are for now these little pumpkins, because I have no other wooden bits.
Do you have to put it on your player board?
No, you can keep it in your hand, or you can put it here and you can do actions with it. Like it's color coded. People think it's complicated, but it's just with the orange action you can do orange things. With the monk you do the orange. You cannot move with it, that's the only thing. Because it's disrespectful to jump on the monk's back and move. Theme. You can make him carry your backpack. That's not disrespectful. Or you can make him carry your two-handed weapon. If you can make a two-handed weapon, that's no problem, but you will lose one range. So there's a penalty for building too big a weapon when you're not ready for it. But with a monk, he can carry it for you, which will mean you don't lose range. The backpack will just become bigger, so you can store more resources in it, which will cost you less actions to build a weapon or a helmet, because otherwise you just have to pile on resources, which will take more actions than putting all the resources from your backpack on your helmet. It's just one action. So that's a little bit the philosophy behind it. There's relics, the little green cubes. These can mostly be found with higher level dragons. For example, this green dragon, and here he's got a monk with him and manuscripts. So if you beat the dragon, you get a potential of a lot of points. The green cube, the relic, is a green dice, which doesn't break to start with, and gives you a bigger hit point range from 1 to 5, and then there's the 6 is times 2, so it will multiply all the hits from your weapon. So if you craft the green cube into your weapon, you can roll with the green dice, which is fun. The dragon tooth you get from the dragon. If the dragon rolls this, then it breaks off his tooth and you get a white cube in your backpack immediately, which you can later put in your weapons or a helmet or shoes, which is nice. I think that's it. There's some manuscripts with legendary weapons, like templates, which do all kind of stuff. Like this helmet will allow you to go through other people. This weapon, this two-handed weapon, will allow you to move lava tokens, but it costs you an action. This weapon doesn't break. This weapon is maybe overpowered. And this one allows you to move when you're attacking someone. This one gives you points. This one allows you to re-roll. This one gives you extra initiative, so you'll always be the first one to roll, which is very handy. Because in the end, it all comes down to running to the rope and pushing each other off and trying to be first to the Shogun. That's the philosophy of the game, but what mostly happens is that nobody wants to leave and keeps hoarding, and suddenly I tell them there's only space for 2 people to go up, and then they realize it's too late and they die, and they ask me, can I still have my points? And I say no.
What?
So, yes. Maybe I'll dumb it down a bit. I'll make it more friendly.
Please do.
But for now, I'm letting people die in the temple.
And
if
then they
they're
have
greedy.
nothing.
But they're greedy.
Being greedy
my
is
fault.
human.
I'll see what I can do. But for now, I want to punish greed.
Okay.
So that's the basic game. Have I forgotten something?
A lot.
What?
I was just kidding.
Oh. You move, you explore, you gather, you craft, you fight, but that's not an action. That's just moving. Is it complicated?
For me, it isn't.
But you've played it 10 times.
At least.
I think it's fine. It'll be fine. If you think it's complicated, comment in the comments.